Hello and welcome to the Pickup WNBA podcast. I'm your host, Cathryn Eicher.
And I'm your other host, Freddie Rivas. What's up?
Oh God,
Was that cool?
it sounded like a burp. But
It kind of felt like a burp.
well, this is episode 124, baby. What a start!
What a start. And a good way to start supporting us, if you haven't already, is by following us on all of our social media accounts
Yes,
at the Pickup WNBA podcast. We're talking Insta. We're talking Blue Sky. Shortly, Twitter, don't worry about it. YouTube, that's a biggie for us. So subscribe, follow us there, comment there. And, Insta as well. Get in there. And people find us all over the place. So we really, really appreciate it. Also, I want to shout out the Sonar Network and Acast and everyone who has been contributing to our survey. So we have a survey attached to our podcast, basically asking a million questions about the podcast. And we really, are thankful for anyone.
1 million questions.
$1 million. It's great though. It's incredible. And I think, we're learning a lot from it. It's going to help us, podcasting and advertising, they go hand in hand. Right. So I think, you're helping us and, hopefully we'll be able to, get more ads that are kind of tailored to the people that listen to this podcast and aren't just sort of out there stuff. So thank you. We really appreciate it. And thanks.
Yes, thank you, everyone. And Freddie, I believe we have one more week for anyone who wants to sign up to our fantasy team.
That's right. Get in there. We have a couple of people who found us on Facebook and different means. So feel free to get at us. But probably the best way is Instagram. I'd say we check those messages the most regularly. So feel free to get at us because we do. This fantasy thing's gonna happen, and we would like to play W fantasy with y'all and sort of mess around. And it would be fun to see if me and Cathryn can kind of back up our talk.
It's true. And just to clarify, I believe we are just doing this for fun. There's no money in this.
Big money's involved. So we're asking for a huge buy-in from our listeners, thousands of dollars, hopefully. You're going to be e-transferring me directly $2,000 a week. So it's going to be weekly and the money's going to be huge. So just heads up there.
All right, cool. Well,
obviously kidding. It's going to be free.
Yeah, it's gonna be free. It's just for fun. We're just gonna have fun with this, but just building a fantasy team and frankly, just kind of building our relationship with you, the listeners, and being able to have some fun together outside of just the show itself. So it's a great opportunity for that.
I'm gonna come out here and say something bold. Me and Cathryn did not talk about this, but if the winner of this fantasy league is not me or Cathryn, we are going to buy you a WNBA basketball and ship it to you.
Okay.
That's the price. And Cathryn, after the pod, if you're like, what the hell, we didn't talk about this, that's okay. I will pay for it. It's like
no, we can do that. We did that as a contest for our to celebrate our 100th episode. So I think that's great. We can definitely have a prize for the winner, but there's zero financial incentive to buy into participating with fantasy.
Correct.
That's a good idea. Well done. This is why, we're typically on the same page here. Okay. So let's get into it, yeah?
Yeah, let's get into it.
Okay. Pre-season basketball has arrived. We've gotten to see a bit of a preview of certain teams. I didn't get the chance to see, I believe there's an Indiana Fever and then Brazil basketball game.
As well as a Sky Brazil.
Yeah,
Brazil national team.
Yeah, which is so cool. I love that happened. I didn't get to see those games, unfortunately. But I think it's cool that the league did that and they're expanding. Freddie and I picked a game each to review and chat about a bit. Freddie, would you like to go first?
Yeah. So the I ended up watching this game. So it was probably not the like sexiest game to pick because well, yeah, I'll back that up a little bit. It didn't have Caitlin Clark. How However, because it didn't have like so I think if you're turning into this game, you're like, "What? The star's not playing?" But for folks who are wondering, like, what's all going on in the preseason, there's a lot of kind of like roster chemistry stuff going on, but there's also like battles for roster spots. So even with the addition of the Valkyrie, that's like what's it was used to be 144. What is it now? So like 156, something like that. Like there's still only 156 positions in the W. And so many talented players are going to get cut.
And it's still
So
12 per team, right?
it's 12 per team. So it's
Yeah.
only 156 players in the entire league. So all that said, I watched Indiana versus the Mystics, and it was a great game. It went to OT, and it was super exciting. And it like there were some big moments from a lot of players. Sonia Citron was awesome. It was good to see Dewana Bonner in a Fever uniform. Um, who else did really good here? Just had it in front of me. But so Aaliyah Boston played. Like there were significant minutes all around. Kelsey Mitchell looked great. Sophie Cunningham is absolutely going to be an exciting addition to the Mystics. She was thrown to the ground, like I would say, like fairly violently by Kiki Iriafen, and Kiki Iriafen gave a big, basically like turned to her teammates, looked around, and had like a devilish smile. So for a rookie to come in and be like, "I will fuck you up," is some intense shit, and I'm totally here for it. And also, Sophie Cunningham is like, man, people don't like her, but she was great though. 21 points, 8 rebounds. She shot 6 for 11 from the field. Like,
shouldn't I shouldn't laugh, but it's funny.
are you watching it? Th-
No,
this game had
just
no.
you being like, people do not like her.
They don't. They really don't.
She's been
And
pushed twice in, like, multiple years.
this game had no business being as intense and exciting as it was. Like for a preseason game, shit was like really,
I
really
know, I mean, a preseason
violent and intense.
overtime preseason
But
overtime is kinda wild.
check out the Sonia Citron line. So we got 15 points, one block shot, one steal, 2 assists, 4 rebounds, 5 for 6 from the field. Like not bad for a first game, even though it's preseason, as a rookie. Kiki didn't do too much, 7 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. And then lots of people did stuff. Georgia Amore didn't play, so didn't get to see her play. Aaliyah Edwards didn't play. But yeah, really, really tight game. And it was exciting. It was packed house. So that was cool.
That's awesome. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, as you're talking, I'm trying to find I closed one of my very important tabs, so I apologize. I have it though. Um, you're right, that game had no business being as intense as it was, which is really cool. I remember you saying earlier on that you think the Mystics are gonna have a better season than projected.
Yes.
Now, they lost one of their rookies with a torn ACL for the season. I believe Aaliyah Edwards is out for the next couple weeks, like 2 weeks or so.
Mhm.
And we know it's just preseason, but are you still sticking with that?
I am still sticking with that. I think that I'm sort of going off of kind of how well they played in the back half of last year. Aaliyah Edwards being out is substantial. Although one thing we're gonna evaluate as the season goes along is, these long-term injuries, right? It's a 44 game season now. So, like, hashtag like expand the damn rosters, Engelbert. But also teams, a lot of teams like are going to get, there's going to be more injuries, right? More games, more injuries. And then also, so Aaliyah Edwards is going to be out for 2 weeks. Like, that's big. That's rough. However, lots of season to play. Like,
Mhm.
she like, I think that means she'll probably miss like max, you
She'll miss
know,
May.
yeah, she'll miss like 8 games, right? Which is
Mhm.
substantial, but she should be back. And any team with Steph Dolson, it's like you'll be all right.
We are a Steph Tolson fan podcast, really,
Yeah,
at the
we
end of
sure
the
are.
day.
We sure are.
Um, that's awesome. So I watched Vegas and Mercury. Really because I'm really curious about the Mercury.
Mhm.
Now, in preseason, you're not really going to get like a full kind of scope of this roster, but Alyssa Thomas did play. She was incredible. They have 19 players on their roster right now.
Holy.
So they're going to be making a lot of cuts. And I feel like this game was probably an audition in a lot of ways for the Mercury. They only lost this game by 1 point. So they were very much in this game. Now, on the Aces side, all their players did play, but like the stars kind of sat for a lot of it.
Mhm.
Um, the highlight here, though, is a player named Deja Kelly on the Aces. She is an undrafted rookie from Oregon, and she had 15 points in this game, including the game winner.
Wow.
So I think she's earned her roster spot here with the Aces, which is really saying something. And she looked incredible in this. Like, I I think she's gonna I would be shocked if she didn't get a spot on the Aces. But also, like, I would be shocked if she didn't get like, if she got a spot and then didn't get minutes. You know what I mean? Like, I think this girl's gonna get minutes.
Wow.
And the Aces, like, they do this whole, like, they lose Kelsey Plum, they get Jewel Lloyd thing. We thought, "Okay, maybe this is, like, a bit of a lateral move." And again, it's just preseason, but I think this team is like really deep again. And I think like the issue with like maybe last season was that they were just so like top heavy.
Mhm.
And once you got to like player number 6 or 7, there was like a real drop off. And I think they've done a really good job filling in the margins with different role players. And I think that's where we're going to see a major difference this year because they're going to be able to take a bit of the load off, right? From that top 4 core. And that's what I feel like they needed because like Asia Wilson had a massive massive season last year, but I think one could argue that like she had to do so much heavy lifting. You know what I mean? And that's like kind of like what doesn't get you over the finish line.
Yeah. She had to do too much heavy lifting,
Yeah,
right?
this is my point.
You wanna be in a Brianna Stewart, be able to, like, save some space.
Exactly. So if they've got somebody like Deja Kelly who can come off the bench and give them like really quality minutes. I mean, she's a guard, obviously, but like still, like this is really exciting for the Aces. Mercury, I feel like they're a good team, but I don't have a full pulse on them yet. Um, I don't believe Kalia Copper played in this, or if she did, she wasn't in the highlights, so maybe she just played like a little bit. But like the Aces are looking real nice. That's what I
Yeah.
have to report.
I'll just, for our listeners, just a funny little thing since you were telling me about Deja Kelly, right? I'm seeing what I could find out. So 15 points, game high, for the Aces, plus 11, plus minus 5 for 7 from the field, and one of 3 players, for either team combined, that when you look at the box score, uh, her profile doesn't have a picture.
Right? Because
So
she was
that
undrafted from Oregon.
so that kinda speaks to everything that you're saying, which is that this is really sort of like a long shot situation we're witnessing.
Mhm.
And, I mean, hey, shout out to her for seizing this opportunity, getting that moment, and seeming like she killed it.
Yeah, and I think, thank you, Freddie, for the stats. You're always better with the stats than I am. But, like, the plus minus, right? Being plus 11 on the court in your minutes, in addition to hitting a
In
game
a
winner
one-point game.
in a 1-point game and hitting the game winner, I think is actually more valuable than the 15 points itself,
Yeah,
right? Like, I think that's what they're gonna look at, and that's what's gonna make it, like, so impressive and be like, "Yeah, you're on our team." Really
yeah.
exciting. Congrats to her.
Congrats to her. Hope she makes the roster.
Mhm. Okay. We are moving on to a very different topic.
Yes.
This is something that we have discussed on the show before, but we have some new comments from players. So essentially, there is an issue of white privilege in the world, but
Mhm.
also within the WNBA. Unfair coverage, a lack of um I don't know. I was going to say transparency, but that's not the right word. But just we talked about it last year with Caitlin Clark. We've talked about it in years prior, even. But it's coming up again with Paige Bueckers, and they had some new comments about it um in the news this week. Freddie, do you want to take it over from there?
Yeah, so, earlier this year, I think I'll start with Caitlin Clark, and we definitely talked about it last year, but around December with her time player of the year, uh her time athlete of the year. She Caitlin Clark talked about it, and one quote they had from her is uh you know sorry, where was it here? Pardon me.
Great. I know this is great podcasting on our part. Sorry,
Uh,
everyone.
no, sorry, that was me. So this is Caitlin. I want to say I've earned everything, but as a white person, there is privilege. A lot of players who have made this league what it is are black women. The more we appreciate, highlight, and talk about that, the better. Brands and companies need to continue investing in those players who have made the league extraordinary. Elevating black women is a beautiful thing, and I have to keep working to help change that. Okay, so there's
That's
that, and then
huge, actually.
yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
and then so Paige, in the same vein, uh, so Paige said, here we go. There's white privilege every single day that I see. I feel like I've worked extremely hard, blessed by God, but I do think there's more opportunities for me. I feel like even just markability, people tend to favor white people, white males, white women. Uh, I think it should be equal opportunity. I feel like there's privilege to what I have and to what all white people have. I recognize that, and I want to counteract that with the way that I go about my business. So the reason why, like, sort of brought this up is because I feel like there's acknowledging that it's happening. There's acknowledgement that this is a part of the fabric, obviously, of the world, and obviously of the league. I think there was a lot of pressure on Caitlyn to say what she said there at an earlier time. Did Paige learn from that pressure and say, you know what, before I play a preseason game, let's go? I
So
don't
wait,
know, maybe, but
Freddie, for sorry,
sorry.
just to for clarification, like how did these quotes come up? Like where were they asked? Was this
Uh,
like media day stuff or was this like do
so
you
Kate,
know?
when Caitlyn got Time Athlete of the Year, she said this in her huge like sort of um like essay that was
Oh, so this would have been like end of 2024.
yeah, so she said that then, And then, I'm not sure where Paige said this, or if she was interviewed or where this came from. Um, discussing, so Paige also with Time Magazine, I think. Um, yeah, in a discussion. So, yeah, Paige said this like, early May, and Caitlin said this late December. And I think like there's a lot here. I think there's part of it is the relevance of Caitlin saying it, which is like, late for some, right? But I feel like regardless, important and powerful words. And then I think Paige saying this immediately is really big. And I think it speaks to one thing I really like about this league, which is like, uh, it's a progressive league and the league knows what it is. So in this like precious time of exponential growth, I think it's really important that the league makes sure that anyone who's joining in knows what it stands for. Because another part of all of this is the immediate anti woke blowback, right? So when Caitlin said that, huge amounts of people were deeply upset and saying that she's overcompensating. And now this is happening to Paige. So I think it's really important for these players to say, like, this is what I'm a part of, and I appreciate it, and I'm proud of who I am, and I've earned what I am receiving, my flowers. But there's lots of other flowers that are earned and you know, not being given. So, yeah.
Right. I mean, I think Paige too, if I remember correctly, had like a whole like SB award speech a few years ago, talking about like Black Lives Matter and stuff. So it's not the first time that Paige has been outspoken about all of this. And I'm not 100% if that's the first time Caitlin's been outspoken about all of this, but you know, it's we've just been through a really weird year, particularly in the last year, of just these like racist, I refuse to even refer to them as fans because I don't think you can be a fan of the WNBA and be racist like this. But I mean, just racist quote unquote fans, you know, taking up space and a lot of people trying to shut that down. And I think a lot of people just being confused because they're new, right? Like I think a lot of people are confused about, like, wait, what's wrong with Caitlyn or whatever. And it's just like, can we just like Google something or like read a whole article? You know what I mean? Can we just read a whole article? You know? Anyway, I'm glad they're outspoken. I'm glad this league is outspoken, frankly. And, one of the things that we love about this league and what drew us to this league back when we started watching, which was during the pandemic in 2020, is that, the bubble season, is that our views are aligned with this league. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah, and it's really important that the white folks in this league make sure that they're super vocal about it, right? When me and you decided to like, hey, we're not going to run from this Brittany Griner story. We're going to cover it as much as we can. I think I can speak for both of us when I say that like it was inspiring to see Brianna Stewart post about Brittany Griner every day.
Yeah, every day.
And there it wasn't, like, showy, it was just sort of, like it just was, like, every single day she said something, and
Hmm.
that was
Hmm.
so cool, and I feel like, Sabrina Ionescu, Caitlin Clark, um, Breanna Stewart, Paige Bueckers, like, these very, very prominent white players, it is super important for them to be vocal, and it's great that they are.
And they are, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I always feel like I have to, apologize for myself all the time, but I feel like I stumbled through this very important segment, and I just want to apologize for that instead of trying to, like, weirdly edit it out.
Hey, listen. Apologize if you feel like you need to, but you're speaking from the heart. It's all good. our
Yeah.
fans know, you know?
Yeah, but, I don't want I just had to acknowledge that I'm at least aware that I was stumbling through this, so it's late on a Wednesday. It's like
Late on a
9:30.
Wednesday.
It's 9:30. It's
Late on
been
a Wednesday, and we're getting stumbly. Ow,
um,
Engelbert. Ow, ow, Engelbert. You know what I mean?
call us Engelbert.
Call us
That should be
Engelbert.
our whole thing for our podcast, should just be
Ow,
hashtag.
Engelbert. Ow, ow, Engelbert, you know?
Oh my god, I can't handle that. Okay, Freddie, do we have another topic or are we going straight to the FFQ? What are we doing here?
We have one more, which is I just did this like excited clap. Eee! We
Okay.
have one more, which is basically I mean, there's not too much to dig in here. It's basically uh who like what opening weekend game are you most excited for?
Are you just randomly asking me that question?
Well, it was in our previous slate of questions, but
Oh, was it?
it
All right,
was
hold on. Let me pull this up right now.
yeah, listen. I will pull it up, but I'll also I'm gonna run fans down through the games that are happening in opening weekend, which is next weekend. Um, so preseason is over
It's next
on
weekend?
it's gonna be next Friday, which is where are we here? May 16th. So
Oh,
May
well,
16th is
we could have done this next week.
I know, but in this same message, I said I think we should next week should be a full predictions episode.
Oh, true, true, true. You did say that.
Yes, and you hearted my message, so I just assumed you were down. You know, um, I didn't know that this is going to go down like this, but
That I would
here,
just forget my hearts.
here we are. You know, throwing your hearts around. So for anyone listening, uh, here's the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday game. So we got the Dream versus the Mystics, the opening game. Exact same time, which I hate when they do this.
Mhm.
Lynx versus Wings, and then the late game is Sparks versus Valkyries. Going to play their first ever W game. Saturday we got the Aces against the Liberty. You know, pretty huge. 1 p.m. 3:30 we got you got Angel versus Caitlin. That's a 3 o'clock game. Sky versus Fever. Also on Saturday, we got the Mercury versus the Storm at 10 p.m. That's a late game.
That's a
And
late,
then
late game.
late game, West Coast. And then Sunday, they're the Mystics again versus the Sun. It's going to be their first game. And then that's 1 p.m. And then 6 p.m. We have the Lynx versus the Sparks. So
That
that
would
is
be
the
their second game by then, yeah.
yeah. So that's the whole slate of weekend games. So out of those games, Catherine, um,
Mhm.
what game are you most excited for?
Look, they know what they're doing. This Saturday afternoon is
Delicious.
the afternoon, right? Like Aces and Liberty and then Sky in Fever. This is where it's at. Like, first of all, I felt like the Aces Liberty rivalry took a little bit of a dip last year. And because the year before, that rivalry was like real, just pure fire,
Mhm,
right? Last year it took a little dip. I want to see this rivalry reignited.
mhm,
Right? I want some new fire, some new juice in this rivalry. So this I'm really looking forward to. And I know that's going to, it's a cheesy thing to say, but out of all these games that is the one I'm looking most forward to and I'm not going to lie about it. Sky versus Fever it's like it's cute cuz it's Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark, but I have very low expectations for the Chicago Sky team.
I'm the
So
exact same.
it'll be like exciting like tip off initial blah blah blah, but like it could easily be a blowout.
Mhm, agree. I agree. Uh, that that is probably the game I'm most excited for as well. Aces and Liberty. Yeah, the timing's wonderful. You know, there's a good chance my baby's gonna be napping. Just good stuff all around.
Aw.
Um,
We should try
the
and watch it together.
we should be great.
Your baby, my dog.
Yeah, maybe they'll both nap. Um,
She's
but
napping now.
a game that I will certainly be like in the midst of falling asleep, but in principle, I'm the most excited for. And I just find myself being so nerdily excited for an expansion team. And I also feel like the Sparks are they have like a little bit, at least temporarily, like new lease on life. And I think there's a lot of optimism in LA. I'm not super optimistic they're gonna have like a big season, but they're at least optimistic. And I think
No,
that
they're optimistic and also just curious.
yeah, right. So the Valkyrie versus Sparks on the Friday night, I think is going to be very very fun. So that's the game I'm going to pick. And the last thing I'm going to say is that I feel like it's a missed opportunity to not steal a page from the NBA's book and have the very first game of this season be a rematch of the finals. Like I think that's a good recipe that the
Mm,
NBA does, and I think the first game it should be and it shouldn't even be on the same night as other games. It should be like a Thursday game to kick off the season. Lynx versus um Liberty. Just like it's like
mhm.
I think you sort of like earn that spotlight, right?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Call us Engelbert.
Call us Engelbert. Scheduling, programming. Ow.
Okay, let's move on to your fun question.
Okay, Freddie's fun question. Time to get fun here, folks. So my fun question for today is so the Liberty and others showed out at the Met Gala. They kind of had like a trophy look. At least is what I read. I'm the least fashionable person of all time, so don't.
Just the Liberty squad in specifically,
Yeah,
not all the players that
that's
attended.
right. Angel was there. Flo J was there. And my question to you, Catherine, is to pick a either a team or a collection of players at the Met Gala and tell me about their like the concept for their look.
That's the question. You want me to tell you about their concept?
I want you to
That
make up a concept.
No, I don't wanna do that.
Okay, well that was the question and you hearted it. So listen, I don't know what to do to I don't know how to make you unheart these things.
Look,
But
I'm sorry, I apologize. Here's the thing, I believe the Met Gala theme was black dandies, and this is a
okay.
tribute to early, like, extravagant black fashion.
Okay.
So I feel like it would be weird if I just, like, took their looks and, like, made up a concept,
That's
because I
fair.
think these looks are, like, really, really well thought out.
Got you.
I thought okay, I misunderstood. I thought we were gonna be making up our own, like, Met Gala categories or something.
We can do it on the spot. I didn't even know that there. So are you saying for instance like next year's Met Gala could be blank?
Yeah, like, they could be, like, any like, the Met Gala has different themes every year.
Okay, let's do it. I'm ready.
See, because you said this thing about trophies, which I didn't understand. So I thought you were saying that the category is trophies, and what our look would be if the category was trophy.
Listeners, if you think that Catherine should hit me up with a couple follow-up questions when she reads my topics, let me know. Like, you know what I mean? Just a couple follow-up like, what does this mean? What does that mean? Or I mean maybe you like listening to those follow-up questions like on the pod and that's your bag, but
Sorry. I know I feel like there's a lot of like pure admin happening on this podcast, but I
this is what
can't. I'm
people come for.
sorry, Freddie. It's too their first of all, their looks were all like stunning. Like they
Interesting.
looked incredible. But also just like I know the amount. I mean, I don't know, but I'm generally aware of the amount of thought and care and attention that goes into these looks and the meaning behind them that I can't just like come up with something random. I didn't realize that the Liberty were trying to design themselves as trophies within this theme. So I thought you meant the category is trophy.
Well, I see the confusion. So I think we wing it,
Thank
right?
you.
And we choose our best categories.
So if
So
you had to dress up as a trophy, or if the category is trophy, right? For the Met Gala, what are
yes.
you wearing?
I mean, I'm going full bronze. So
I knew you were gonna say
I'm going full like
I
hardcore, like
knew you were gonna say that.
spray tan bronze. Uh, and if not, I maybe would do like dress myself like a big participation ribbon. Because I think that would be funny. Could be very
That's
like
so funny, the
l-
participation ribbon.
like Lenny Kravitz,
I
like
could
big
do
scarf
a par
vibes. Yeah.
I would love a participation ribbon dress that had, like, a long train, and then it has that little, like, scissor cutout at the end of the train, like, those little triangles at the end of the participation ribbon, like, that's the train. That would be really cute. See, this is fun question stuff. Trophy.
I think it might have to be Catherine's fun questions from now on.
No, no, don't do that. Don't do that. I'm sorry. Freddie's upset.
I'm pissed. No, I'm actually happy because during this pod, we've had 3 more people asked to join the fantasy league.
No
And
way!
and this is not a live pod. So this is
Coincidence.
just random timing. So yeah.
Oh, that's incredible. Um, okay, so you're going bronze, participation ribbon. I agree. You gotta go like silly with it. With us at least. But what's this bronze outfit? Like, is it just a bronze colored like suit? Like, what is it?
I'm thinking like sort of like bronze spray on like a garbage can, but the garbage can's like it's an old sort of Oscar the Grouch vibe where it's like sort of like smushed and smashed together and
Oh my
like
god.
on the shoulders, like
I have a nice idea for you.
okay,
So
hit me.
this Blake Lively did something somewhat similar to this. So here's the thing um with copper, with the color copper in particular. Copper fades into that teal color like the Statue of Liberty. Right? Like, it'd be cute if you had this, like, bronze coppery colored suit, but then underneath you had that teal green. So it's like you're this faded bronze, right? Or it's like that material where, like, you brush it and it turns into a different color. That could be really cute on you.
Okay, yeah, I rock that. I'm not afraid.
Or you could rock the participation ribbon dress with the train.
Yeah, there you go. I'd be beautiful.
You hate fashion.
I bet I'd try. As long as someone dressed me, I feel like I'd be good.
Okay. But also your garbage can idea could work. It would definitely go viral. It would be noteworthy. It would get
100%.
attention. It would be all of those things.
Totally. My favorite Met Gala moment of all time is still when the someone saw a cockroach and they zoomed up on the cockroach and they followed it up the stairs into the Met Gala. That was like 5 years ago, and it's one of the best things I've ever seen. It was on the red carpet, and then all these photographers were surrounding it and taking pictures. Please,
Oh my
everyone,
god. I do
everyone,
remember that.
everyone, YouTube it. To me, I'm like, that is, it's so New York, and it's so funny. Like, I
You know
love
what
that.
you could do?
Everyone bought in. It was great.
You could dress up as the red carpet cockroach and then have a badge that says best in show.
Oh, that'd be good shit.
And then it's like a callback to the cockroach.
That'd be huge. Listen,
Yeah, that would be really fun.
Engelbert, get me at that gala. Pull your strings.
You would be insane at that gala.
Pull your strings. Do your thing. Get me in there.
All right. Well, I'm just going to apologize for myself again here. I really am sorry. I didn't understand. I would have said something earlier. I'm sorry.
Hey,
Don't be mad at me. I can't
I'm
handle it.
I'm pissed.
That's so toxic.
I'm pissed. I'm
That's so
unforgiving.
toxic.
And folks who listen to this pod, you probably don't realize like how ruthless I am. Uh, so I'm like, it's pretty intense being friends with me.
All right.
Yeah,
All
you're
right.
good.
We should wrap it up there. Thank you everyone for listening, for tuning in. We appreciate you so much. Remember to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. One more week to sign up for our fantasy team. Our survey is still there. If you have done it, thank you so much. If you're considering it, please do. And we'll catch you next time with this full season preview. How about that?
That's
Okay.
beautiful.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Peace.
Bye.
This podcast has been brought to you by the Sonar Network.